Hey guys, this is part like either 2 or 3, I can't remember, of what if Goku was like a Saiyan Angel hybrid. I think that was the name of the what if. Sorry I haven't uploaded in forever. It's kinda hard because I'm always surrounded by family and they're like constantly like messing up the videos or asking me to do stuff, so I don't have much time to like edit things and whatnot. But my family's out right now, so got some time to make this video and get it out there. And I noticed in the time I was gone, we gained a couple subscribers, so we're 9 away from 100 subscribers. So keep it pushing. Now, so where we're gonna start this off is when they land on planet Namek. Frieza Scouter, Zarbon Scouter, Dodoria Scouter, and some of the Frieza soldiers, all their scouters instantly detect a high power level. These power levels are around 30,000 each. So this somewhat worries Frieza, not in a way like he's scared for his own life. He's just worried that this person might, mess up their plans. So he sends Zarbon to go deal with the problem. And Dodoria goes trailing after when Zarbon leaves. Not too long after, Zarbon would encounter Raditz and Goku. Looking at Raditz, wait a minute, hold on. I checked, it's part 2, but the reason why I checked in the first place was, for some reason, I felt like I already uploaded this video. So, Zarbon will stare into Raditz's eyes, because he knows who Raditz is, and he's surprised at how much stronger he's gotten. But he would tell Raditz that he was still no match for himself. And this would make Raditz mad, and he would dash over to Zarbon and punch him in the face before grabbing hold of his arm, swinging him over his head, and slamming him onto the ground. Raditz would then hold his hand out and fire a ki blast that Zarbon would roll out of the way of before jumping back to his feet and preparing to kick Raditz. Zarbon would launch the kick at Raditz, but Raditz would just block the attack nonchalantly before punching Zarbon in the chest. While his fist was embedded in Zarbon's chest, he would rotate his fist to where the ends of his knuckles were his knuckle was facing the air, and then he would open his hand, spreading his palm out fully over Zarbon's chest and shooting a ki blast point blank range through his chest, killing Zarbon. And Dodoria would soon come after and suffer the same fate, death. With a little more traveling, because Frieza would then realize that Zarbon and Dodoria were dead, as reported to him by some of his soldiers. So he would have no choice but to call in the Ginyu Force. And the Ginyu Force would soon arrive on the scene, tracking down Goku and Raditz. And they would stand off in front of them, blocking their paths. Ginyu would introduce himself before striking his pose, as the other 4 would begin to do the same. And Goku would start mimicking their poses before saying, "I don't know what's the joy in this. It's pretty stupid if you ask me," which would make the Ginyu Force angry. So Goldo would rush at Goku, and Goku would just slap him away as he would dash to Raccoon, punching him in his gut, breaking the armor he was wearing, before holding his hand out in front of Raccoon's face and shooting a ki blast at him, killing him. He would then turn around to see Geese running at him at full speed, and he would punch Geese in the face. Jice in the face before shooting multiple ki blasts at him that would send him sky high. This would anger Birder, and Birder would start running around Goku at high speeds. But to Goku, this was child's play. As Goku would stick out his arm, Birder would come crashing in, essentially getting clotheslined by Goku's arm. He would then get back up and start throwing a flurry of blows at Goku. But Goku would just sit there and take the punches. The punches did nothing to Goku at all. So Goku would then block the final punch before delivering a punch of his own that would punch straight through Birder. Goku would then say, "Maybe I overdid it a bit," as he would then look at Ginyu and say, "I'll go easier on you." And this would terrify Ginyu. And in a blink of an eye, Goku was right in front of him. Goku would then deliver multiple punches to the gut and chest. This would cause Ginyu to cough up massive amounts of blood, gallons of it. As Goku would then grab Ginyu's shoulder plate and throw him into the air before charging up a Kamehameha wave and jumping up to Ginyu while Ginyu was falling out of the air and launching the Kamehameha wave at point blank range, disintegrating every atom of Ginyu. With a little more traveling, they had located the last Dragon Ball that wasn't in Frieza's possession. And when they would walk in, they would see a large green man. And this man was the Elder Guru. They would begin conversating with Guru before asking him for the Dragon Ball. Guru could see that they had no malicious intent, so he had no problem giving them the Dragon Ball. And Goku would then tell him how their plan is to take out Frieza. And the Guru would decide to help them on their mission by unlocking their potentials. This would boost their powers from, Raditz had a power level of 7 million, and Goku had a power level of 8 million. But this would boost Raditz's power to 10 times, all the way up to 70 million, and Goku's power level would be 100 million. So Goku and Raditz would thank the Guru for his kindness before leaving to go face Frieza. Goku would have no trouble locating Frieza's ship, as it was pretty large and in plain sight. So he and Raditz would fly towards the ship at full speed, bursting through the window of the cockpit, I guess, of the ship, and coming face to face with Frieza. Frieza would then read his scouter as it would raise all the way up past 1 million, past 10 million, before bursting. Goku would tell Frieza to give up, as he stood no chance. But Frieza would go into his last form, laughing at Goku, saying that he now stood no chance. But Raditz would yell out at Frieza, telling him it's time for him to pay. Raditz would then start beating on Frieza, and Frieza was only using 50% of his form, but he was still terrified that a lowly monkey, as he calls them, could be keeping up with him and beating him. Raditz would then grab Frieza by the tail before pulling him with his full strength and then meeting Frieza's chest with a knee before powering up a double Sunday, launching his point-blank range onto Frieza's chest, sending him through the bottom of the ship. Frieza wouldn't have emerged from under the ship for a while, so Raditz thought that was enough to take care of him, as multiple death beams would be fired at Raditz. Raditz was able to block these death beams by swatting them away, but Frieza would then fly back up, grabbing onto Raditz's armor and flying out of the ship, as he would then fly into the air and then rotate his body back downwards, driving him straight into the ground. This would cause Raditz to grab on to like the under part of pretty much his underarm, I guess you could say. But he grabbed Frieza around his underarm and pretty much performed like some kind of suplex. It's similar to a suplex. It's kind of hard to explain. But he slams Frieza onto the ground behind him, stopping Frieza from driving him to the ground any longer. As Raditz would then get up and Frieza would as well, they would begin to clash fists. The clashing of their fists would come to an abrupt stop as Frieza would say, "You're not that bad, but I've been holding back this whole time," as he would let loose of that maniacal laugh. And Raditz would say, "So have I." Raditz would then scream out as his hair would grow a little longer and become a bright gold. Frieza would be scared, frozen in fear, as Raditz would say, "I have ascended to become the thing you fear most, the legendary Super Saiyan." Similar to, he sounds a lot like Vegeta right now, I know. But he actually means it this time. And he would begin beating on Frieza. This fight is similar to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight against Beerus. Every time Frieza goes in for an attack, Raditz would just swat him away or flick him. Until eventually Frieza began to attempt to land his final attack on Raditz, throwing a death ball down at Raditz. Raditz would lift his hand up before launching a ki blast at the death ball, and this ki blast was enough to stop the death ball in its tracks before dispersing and then letting the death ball go back on its pace. So Raditz started firing loads of ki blasts at the death ball, and they started pushing it back. This would anger Frieza, as his own death ball was being pushed back by mere ki blast. But in his fit of rage, he didn't realize how close the death ball was to him, as he would then collide with his own death ball, exploding and launching into the ground. Raditz would go back into his base form, as he had just killed Frieza. He would begin walking back to Goku, and he felt a sharp pain in his chest. And he looked down at his chest, and there was a hole in it. And he would slowly turn around before blacking out to see a beaten and bruised Frieza standing up. This would anger Goku, as Goku would scream out, going into a Super Saiyan and flying towards Frieza. Alright, so I know I put 500 million, but I meant 5 billion. Because his power level is 100 million. And it's a 50 times multiplier. So I meant 5 billion, okay? But nonetheless, she still outclasses Frieza. And he's not holding back. As he would appear next to Frieza in the blink of an eye and grab hold of his head. As he would begin charging up a ki blast. But then he would stop. Because he wants Frieza to suffer. As he would punch Frieza in the gut and start turning his fist in his back and forth before using his other hand to swiftly punch Frieza to the ground. Frieza would try to stagger to his feet, but Goku would step on his chest before twisting it around. Frieza would pass out from the pain, and this would bore Goku. So Goku would just kill him then and there. As he would rush back over to Raditz, giving him a senzu bean, keeping him alive. And Goku and Raditz decided to stay on Namek a little longer. And after their time there, when they were getting ready to leave, a space pod would land on Namek. This is Vegeta's space pod. And it's kind of weird because they didn't know why he was there. But he was there because of Frieza. And, you know, Frieza's already dead. And they had got there a little bit earlier than him. And they finished all this in one day. So it didn't take too long. So they would return back to Earth. All three of them. Vegeta only staying long for the training. So then he could eventually end up killing the both of them. Now, after a year of training, when they made it back to Earth, Goku's base power is now 100 times stronger than Frieza's. So, his power level is like 12 billion in base. Raditz is 10 times stronger than Frieza in his base form. So, his base power level is like 1 billion. And then we got Vegeta, who's only 500. I said 500. 5 times stronger than Frieza. But nonetheless, he's pretty proud of his strength because the person he hates most literally was Frieza. And he still hates him more than he hates Goku and Raditz. So I'm gonna end this off though. Hopefully you guys liked it. Yeah.